All right. Now, for all the multitasking, what are you doing? Magnum now? All right.
Blue Steel.
Blue Steel. All right. Now, for our listeners on YouTube, as you guys get ready to tune in to what we're doing, there's going to be a lot of dead air because what often happens is with the YouTube rights, we often get flagged for playing music apparently without our license. So, in anticipation of doing so, we want to make sure we also address you all. And in addition to that, make sure we're playing things correctly. So, when we play our music according to the radio station, we will cut to a small interlude or commercial. And hopefully during that time, you'll be able to get some other snacks and some other items or perhaps a notepad to take some notes because we are better than you. And
oh, Jesus.
We are.
Are you broadcasting?
Yes, we are broadcasting. This is a live.
On the radio or YouTube? Which one?
This is YouTube first, so
okay.
I can get the link and everything. We got about a minute and counting. So I'm going to pull this up.
So they've been seeing my Blue Steel.
Yes, they've been seeing you Blue Steel for a couple of minutes. Well, not a couple of minutes, like maybe a few seconds. All right, TKNN. And go there.
That's how models look. It's my Blue Steel model face.
Model face. All right, and we're live here.
Boobies.
Beloved, we have to edit that out now.
I told you not to start before it's time to start.
Yeah, I love you. Again, here at TKNN Live, you know, we keep things lively and we keep things lively as possible. Boom, 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 boom. Indeed. Indeed. All right. Okay, one watching live now. All right, now we're going to go ahead and start broadcasting
on 99
on 99 The Beat. And okay,
they've had to admit this. Maybe not. Maybe they don't even care.
Well, they have no other choice but to miss us.
They have plenty of choices.
Well, they will miss us. They better miss us.
We've been gone for like 3 weeks.
3 weeks. All right, and to make sure that there's no dead air, I'm just going to narrate everything that we do. Okay, all right. Headphones are in. Keep the microphone on like that. This is the very complicated part of checking sound. Oops. Okay, microphone's off. All right.
Can you hear me?
The microphone's playing fine, but making sure we can be heard.
Are you playing a song?
Yep.
You talk real proper. Yep. Got all that education. You know. And you even into politics? I bet you don't even go to church. What for? And you know what else? You got real big feet. My feet? What did you do?
All right. Cutting that off because I got to hear this. I wonder why this is not playing through like it should. But, okay, let's just go ahead and playback devices. All right, we gotta love improv here. All right, this is TKNN Live and The Know. Once again, I am your co-host, Yair L, the Disagreeable.
I am the hostess, Navia, the triple disagreeable.
You have to go with the triple disagreeable.
All right, double.
The double, just disagreeable. That's all.
Collectively, we are called Les Disagreeables.
Disagreeable.
Okay, Les Disagreeables.
Les disagreeables.
That's how you know,
okay.
pronounce us in French.
Yes,
if anybody
it's
cares.
French. It's French. It's for the sophisticated. All right, now let's minimize that. And, okay, we're going to check sound here. Yep, we're good to go. So,
We are on 99 The Beat.
99 The Beat. We want to give a special shout out to all of our listeners that are there. Of course, DJ Big Man, Lyric, the first lady of 99 The Beat.
First lady.
And DJ Rizzle. I'm just going off the top of the dome because I don't have a list in front of me. Everyone that tunes in, I'm missing somebody. Snoop, Avant. Let's see here.
Crucial Red. I always remember her.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Crucial Red. You know, shout out to Crucial Red. We love you guys. Okay, let's go to the shout box on the 99 The Beat app. So those that are listening on YouTube as well, download 99 The Beat app so that you can listen to your radio tunes while you're at work.
It's good.
While you're in the shower.
It's good.
While you're cooking. Even while you're eating.
They have a nice variety. I mean, even some old school joints.
Very healthy variety of music. You know, you really want to tune in. Get the app. You can download it on Google Play. Make sure you get that this evening, right now, so you can listen to us whenever you want. Well, not whenever you want, but whenever we're on.
We had a 3-week hiatus because we've been doing that thing called family visiting. Took us to D.C., Maryland, and Philadelphia. And we've had some excitement along the way.
Oh, yes, it's true.
Some of the things that I've learned is in certain areas of D.C., if you have to use the bathroom, don't expect to stop at a gas station. They don't have them.
Absolutely.
It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. And when you're taking a 7.5-hour drive.
Jeez Louise.
Not having the ability to use the restroom can turn a perfectly rational woman into a monster in a matter of minutes.
It can. I've seen it firsthand. I've witnessed it.
I mean, it was terrible. I mean, we went to like 3 gas stations. You know, if I had the capabilities, I'd have probably tied my legs in a knot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. Very true. You know, I was the same way, but, you know, thankfully, you know, I was able to hold it all together. You know, one of us had to hold it together. It wasn't me. Because if both of us were not together, we probably would have, you know, ran into people and started bum rushing and having to use the bathroom in somebody else's car, or, you know, just being the buttholes that we love being disagreeable, because we need to use the bathroom whenever we take our trip, wherever we want, whenever we want.
And that's why I'm thinking that an RV is a wonderful investment for the future.
Exactly.
And I honestly want to go that route.
Mm-hmm. Great investment.
Along with the traveling horrors, which most of the travel wasn't that bad, with the exception of the inability to relieve yourself. You know.
Yes.
But you know, we got into Philadelphia. You know, we got into our old neighborhood. I got to, of course, show Beloved around, trying to show him some of the areas that I grew up, that I talk about, you know, so much. And we were disappointed because it's been gentrified.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I mean, heavily gentrified. I mean, you know, downtown and the Gallery Mall and stuff like that, and South Street and Market Street, that was the place where, you know, Black people would go out and walk the streets, and it'd be thriving. And, you know, even down 17th Street where I took him there, I was kind of wanting to show him the place where I was first drowned in the pool, you know. If you know anything about city pools, you know, there's always some jerk in there, you know, that want like pushing people in the water, and not too many of us know how to swim. So we kind of learned the hard way, and I wanted to show him that community pool, and they completely did that over. I mean, we ran into nothing but condos and lofts,
updated places. I mean, they were,
oh my God, resorts.
They were pristine and beautiful, but of course, you know, there were none of us there.
I mean, there were some, very little, but I mean, there were some, you know. But wasn't it you that said if you ever want to know when they're gentrifying a neighborhood, when you start seeing white people walking dogs?
With dogs, yep. That's
okay,
anywhere.
So we saw
anywhere
it.
you go. If you see that indicator, you know that your neighborhood is already changing. Not starting, but already changing.
It's already on the cusp. Okay, so the brownstones, you know, and the houses and the new developments, I was trying to remember certain landmarks and places by ear, you know, and by memory, because this was where I grew up, so I know my city.
Right.
But most of the landmarks are now gone. They're changed. The high school's not there. I mean, it's changed so drastically. I got plenty of pictures of it, but it was shocking. But with all of those changes, My grandmother's house is still in the hood.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and listen, when I was getting beloved breakfast, a police car pulled over to the next block and waited for me to walk by. I thought it was awesome. You know, I thought they were gonna get out the car and accost me and throw me up against the wall because I was black, and then assume I was like a drug dealer or something. It was great. It was
Why
great.
would that even
it was wonderful.
be great?
It's not great. I was being cynical. It's probably one of the most adrenaline rush parts of my life while I was there. You know, I was like, oh snap, why are they stopping? Are they going to get out the car? Am I going to be accosted? Please God, no, because I'm going to be one of the most awkward individuals to be accosted. Are you doing anything? Yes. Do you have any drugs on you? Not right now. I mean, no. I don't know how to answer the question without fear of being choked or shot.
Not right now. That's an interesting one.
Not right now. I mean,
if you check back with me on Wednesdays, you might.
I mean, maybe Wednesday we'll schedule that here, and I'll be down the street. You know, yeah. It was wonderful.
Okay, so and we also got another dose of the city life. Now, you know, we have been here in the South for a pretty long time. You know, I know I have. It's been about 20 years for me, and I've become accustomed to a certain lifestyle. Mm-hmm. So when we go to my mother's house, all night long, we can hear the next door neighbors fighting and threatening to stab each other. Okay, to the point where I was like literally concerned, you know, and they're over there, get me the knife and this, that, and the third. And this is going to like 3 or 4 in the morning. They're wanting to stab each other. And I go to my mom and I'm like, Mom, you know, somebody's over there got a knife.
Right.
Should I be concerned? Because, you know, God forbid that there's a murder that happens right next door that I could have prevented.
Right.
You know, so I go to my mom and I'm like, you know, they're threatening to stab each other over there. What, do we need to call somebody?
Do we need to act?
And my mom is like, oh, that's just booby in them. That's just booby in them. Like, this is a normal thing.
A normal, typical ghetto name.
This is the normal thing for them. And I was also pretty surprised and shocked to see that crack is still prevalent there.
Interesting.
Okay, now we've had plenty of drug upgrades. You know, I mean, I thought people were like transitioning to the Mollies and the Purse and the Flockas and
not methadone,
the
meth and
you know, stuff like that. I thought that they were upgrading, but apparently not. Apparently, when you know, we as black people, when we find something that we like, we stick to it.
Yep.
You know, we pretty much don't evolve in that area. That's like the, you know, what they say about the old men that like their Henny. You drink Henny, you always drink Henny.
You always drink Henny, or what is it, the old school, the Crown Royal?
Crown Royal, you always drink Crown, you know. But
I remember in the hood they had the St. Ides and the Schlitz malt liquor and
I grew up with the St. Ides now. We called it Crooked Eye, you know, back then. And
Old English. My uncle had the big glass 40s with the whole
Oh, definitely. And then, you know, if you were a cheap wino, then you would get Wild Irish Rose. And you would wake up with the worst headache you could ever imagine. You would wake up feeling like you were still dead. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's how bad it was. So that was some of our experiences.
Yeah.
We also had the pleasure of going to visit my grandmother, who was in a nursing home by choice, by the way. Okay. Now, remember, I had talked to you guys about us having to take care of our elders. Okay. I have one of the most stubbornest women I mean, he didn't believe me, and he got to actually
I was not convinced
witness
until I saw
it. Okay. My grandmother is refusing to live with any of us. Not her daughter, her son, not me, not my sister. And her mindset is she doesn't want to live down south because she doesn't have a way to get around. And, you know, the buses stop running at 10 o'clock. And I'm sitting there listening like, what does an 80-some-year-old woman do after 10 o'clock? You sound ridiculous, you know, but she still thinks that one day she's going to get very healthy and just walk out of that nursing home and be able to travel and do the things that she wants to do. And I understand that because she's always been an independent woman. So the thought of her having to stay or be dependent to somebody has been sickening. And I also had inquired about possibly taking her out by force. But my mother had informed us that because they consider her mentally competent, she has to make the decision. So when we went to...
Ironically.
I know, right? So when we went to go visit Grandma, you want to tell her the experience of trying to push her in to play bingo?
All right, well, we weren't... The instance of bingo was a hilarious one because, you know, there's a specific seat that she has. And someone was sitting in her seat. Even though, like you said, there were no assigned seats. And, you know, I'm trying to be the gentleman because I'm a new guy. She didn't meet me. You know, I was trying to be kind. And I'm like, all right, let me just, you know, wheel you right on in there. She puts her hands on the wheels to stop me from moving. And Beloved was like, Beloved, put her in there. I'm like, I can't. She has put a stop on. She does not want to go in until that person moves.
Right.
She didn't believe me until I moved out the way and allowed her to do the same thing. And then she realized that Mama was gangster with her seat.
And she literally did not move. I mean, she locked that wheelchair. And then we got to meet another elder gentleman by the name of Jack. And my grandmother said, no, I'm not going in there because this man is confused. It was an older white man that was, they don't even have seats. You know, it's just a spot at the table that you roll your wheelchair to. You know, but that particular spot at the table is where my grandmother sits. Mm-hmm. You know, and you got to understand, she's ex-military. You know, she was always a leader, always very strong. And now she's in her 80s and she feels like she can boss people around in the old folks' home. Mm-hmm. To the point where she's literally fighting another old lady in a wheelchair.
Oh, that was... we shouldn't laugh at that, but that was probably one of the funniest stories I've ever heard.
Yeah, I mean, they're sitting there. They're probably both weak, you know, and they're just tapping,
like the Family Guy parody, and they had the music, and then they were just fighting, and they really weren't fighting, and they had to stop and take the medication.
Yeah, Mr. Herbert and the
and slept not or something like that. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, this is what my grandma's doing. You know, she's brooding. Won't budge. Very, very stubborn. Very stubborn. My mother's the exact same way. You know, all of this could be resolved. All of these issues could be resolved if they would move back here. But instead of moving back to North Carolina, where all of the family is, they want to stand there, be defiant, and make everybody else miserable. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but what can we say about that? Then we got cussed out by my mom, which was awesome.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay. For not turning off her pot. Not turning off her pot. Yeah. We turned it down low, put it on simmer, wasn't good enough. We went to go see Grandma. Mom said that she was coming right back going to the store, so Beloved put it on simmer for her. And instead of coming from the store, she decided to make a detour and end up somewhere else that wasn't available.
How were we supposed to know? I mean, we were barely paying attention anyways, and we would think, you know, you wouldn't leave the house with the pot on. You know, thankfully, if it wasn't for my culinary prowess, me putting it down on that lowest setting so that the water wouldn't evaporate and burn, she still had a good meal and she still cussed you out.
Yeah, so, you know, that was that. And the last thing, before we get into today's topic, you know, I just wanted to share with you some of these experiences because we've been gone, you know, and I think you want to hear them. You know, they're interesting. The very last thing was, first of all, we just kept getting stood up. We kept getting stood up by every family member. A few of them showed up, you know, to come and say hi and this, that, and the third. The nursing home is so depressing. I just really can't stand it. I mean, it's so depressing. It's so much different up north than it is down south. You know, I mean, it's cleaner here, you know, it's more attentive here. Now, I'm quite sure that there's places everywhere that got some sucky places, you know,
right.
Or nonchalant people that just want to make a check. They don't really care about these old people. But we've had some funny experiences there to the point where one could have been turned into a horror movie.
Yeah. Yes. That was
Yeah, old white lady. So my cousin. Okay, so my cousins show up. Wait a minute. So
I'm sorry.
My cousins show up,
This is serious.
to come see me, and I introduced them to Beloved and this, that, and the third, and they're pretty women. You know what I mean? They're very pretty women, and they're of the high yellow type of nature, complexion, and this real old white lady was in a wheelchair, and she rolled up to me first, okay, and she extended her hand, and I'm thinking, oh, this is sweet, and I go and I take her hand and I'm rubbing her hand, and then she rolls around to my little cousin and she takes her hand and my little cousin rubs her hand, and then she just holds on to it and says, kiss me, please.
Oh,
kiss me, please. And if you guys would have seen the expression on my little cousin's face, she didn't know
she was
what to do. I mean, that could have took her. It took her off guard so bad. And I was over there, trying to encourage this gate at the same time. And I'm thinking, just go ahead and kiss the old lady on the cheek. And her face was like frozen in the. And the lady just kept getting closer and closer. And then finally, we jump on the elevator because we're in such an awkward position. My heart is feeling so sorry for this woman because I'm not sure why she wants to be kissed. I don't know if my little cousin reminded her of somebody, or maybe she hasn't been getting visited and she just wanted an expression of love. But what I do know is that my little cousin wasn't having to caring about none of that shit.
Right.
None of that.
That was probably one of the most awkward moments. She didn't know what to do, how to react.
And she just had this weird grin on her face. She's backing up slow. So we decided to get on the elevator and just get out of there. It's time to go. And as we're on the elevator, this old white lady just starts slowly rolling towards us. And my husband is over there going, push the button, push the button, push the button. And she's getting closer and closer.
Please push the button.
And closer.
Jesus, please push the button.
And by the time she gets there, the door's finally shut and we're out of there. But I thought about that long and hard, and I felt bad.
Yeah.
And then, the question was proposed. If she would have asked me would I've kissed her, I don't know. Like, my heart keeps saying, of course I would.
Because you're a compassionate individual.
I'm a compassionate person, like maybe on a forehead or something. Mm-hmm. But my little cousin, I mean, that level of apathy
was 100%. Just
like I don't have nothing to do with that lady. Like she would have kissed some hot oil before she would have put her lips on that woman. Yeah. Uh-huh. It was just really bad. But all right, I'm not going to take up too much of the time. I could talk about this stuff for hours and hours. We're going to get to the topic of discussion, and I'm going to turn it over to Beloved, and he's going to take it away.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. Once again, this is Yair L. the Disagreeable. Before I start my rant, I want to say hello to those that are listening. Avant. Greetings, hey. Kim, greetings, Whitney, greetings, Danielle, greetings, Trina, greetings, Heather, hey. Greetings. Thank you all for tuning in. Now, here are the comments. Okay, Avant said that's how older people are. Kim stated that you have a lot of women that are stubborn and stuck in their own ways. Very true. Very true. It's true. Very true. And then Danielle said, LOL, Yair Navia. See, she knew what we were talking about. Same thing with Trina. And Heather says, what's up? Hello, Heather. Thank you for listening in. Again, keep in mind that we also have a link provided in the chat box on 99 The Beat. If you do not have the app, download the app right now so you can listen to us and hear us on several platforms. I know you guys want to see us. You haven't seen us before. It would be good to put faces to these beautiful voices. So once again, check out the link.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's easy breezy beautiful. But we're gonna go ahead and post a link once again so that you guys can tune in and see us. Now, on to my little rant. Excuse me.
Nothing to do with this.
I'm sorry, my voice is parched.
Nothing. This is all from the mind of Yair.
While I was driving. While I was driving in my car and I was thinking about the dynamic between men and women, husbands and wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, one night stands, relationships, you know, you name it, from top to bottom, from A to Z. I was thinking about one thing in particular. And that was the psychology of being the alpha male / female, or this mentality, or the psychology behind it. And I was pondering upon this because I remember that this term was used specifically for the animal kingdom.
Yeah.
So now, why would this particular term that's used for the animal kingdom now transfer, segue, or make its way into the community of humans, you know, of people who actually have higher levels of consciousness and decisions and, you know, have to make all these complex choices? And I was thinking about it in passing because you and I talked about that dynamic and, you know, how some women need a bad boy or a thug.
Some of us like that.
You know, you need somebody who's assertive and all this other stuff. And again, viewer discretion is advised. You might not want your children to listen to my rant for some explicatives that might come out. So I'm giving you that forewarning now.
It's a family-friendly show.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm your family. I'm going to be very friendly with what I'm getting ready to rant about.
Okay.
Now, here is my opinion. It is bullshit.
Uh-oh.
It makes absolutely no sense how you can classify a human being as alpha, beta, gamma, delta, all the way down to zeta. It makes absolutely no sense. You know, it says, well, alpha male is very dominant and he takes no for an answer. And, you know, you have to answer to this person and he always goes in and has this aggressive mentality. But that's not how everybody functions.
That's correct.
Well, that's not. Well, then that's the case. You can never be an alpha male. Why would you want to be an animal? Why would you want to associate with a term that is classified specifically for animals? Makes absolutely no sense to me. Maybe that's just my rant in the car that I was thinking about, because I just do not see how you can put two and two together where I, as a man, as an individual, have to learn how to submit to you and be dominant in certain areas of our relationship, and there's an ebb and flow. Because if I'm dominant all the time and you're doing absolutely nothing, something is wrong.
I think humans, you know, tend to do things like that because they're trying to find a way to identify with something. You know, because while you were talking about that, I was talking about another one that was very, very popular. It's like, you know, I'm a lion or my lioness, you know, or you know, stuff like that. We tend to, you know, when we're trying to make a point and we don't have something to weigh it to or weigh it against, we kind of use those. The alpha male and what's interesting about it is because everybody has a different dynamic of what an alpha is. You know, what the mainstream is like you said, you know, the very dominant, very overprotective male, you know, the head, the leader of everything. And you know, but somebody else's perspective might say, you know, an alpha male is a person that is, you know, secure in their own identity. So they don't have to, you know, overexert anything, you know, so control or power or something like that. But you were saying something earlier that what brought on some of this conversation was the fact that you were reading where women were saying, I can only deal with an alpha male or something like that.
Or only an alpha male can handle me.
Okay.
And maybe this was just me, you know, digging into the semantics of things, because that's kind of how I think. When I look at statements, or I listen to people talk, or I listen to conversations, I don't just listen to how you say things, but I also listen to what you say, because I'm very cognizant of the power behind words and affirmations.
Okay.
So this is for our sisters that are listening. When you say only an alpha male can handle a strong black woman like me or a strong woman like me, then that's a bit of a problem, because when you say handle, that also equates to animals as well.
Because only animals are handled.
Exactly. You handle animals, you handle inanimate objects, but you don't handle people.
So when you're saying that when they're saying I need some, only a certain type of person can handle me, you're still looking at it from the perspective of the puppeteer.
That is correct.
And okay, I get it.
It's like saying, oh, I need somebody that can just, okay, it's a matter of control.
Okay.
Let's say that. It's a matter of control. Whereas you don't want to be in a dominant position, but you have to be in a dominant position because of X, Y, Z going on in your life, and you have to take this dominant role where you shouldn't be in a dominant role. Where, again, you have to remember what you are affirming with your words. If you're not an animal, you don't need to be handled. You need a man that's going to be able to ebb and flow with you dynamically throughout your life and throughout your issues. If you want a man to handle you, then I'm afraid that person's going to be very controlling and very manipulating in certain ways. Maybe that's my opinion. Maybe that's my observation. But when you look at animals in a pen, they are caged. Their natural instincts and their intuition is completely blocked off. Food is given to them. They have a short area in which they're able to thrive, and they don't thrive at all.
That's interesting. And I guess what makes it so interesting is I do believe that there are some of us on a deep subconscious level or deep psychological level that actually does want to be handled. And I can name some of the characteristics of some of the women that do display that type of, if you have grown up and you didn't have a father figure in your life, you tend to gravitate to, number one, older males, you know, or a more structured male, a more mature male.
Right.
You tend to want that dominating type of attribute to your relationship because you're deep down, you're missing that father figure role, and it transcends into your relationship. Now, I can say with 100% confidence that I was like that. You know, that when I was younger, I only wanted to deal with older men. And it wasn't that my dad was completely absent, you know, but as a traveling musician, he wasn't there all the time.
Right.
You know, he was in my life, but then again, he still wasn't. You know, it wasn't an everyday thing. I didn't wake up with daddy and go to sleep with dad.
So the time you needed the masculine balance, it just wasn't there when you needed it.
That's
so
right.
You were searching for that balance to give you what you desired to have. Okay.
And there's a certain level of comfort to some women to have to, I guess, relinquish all the decision making, all of that, you know, and just sit in the lap of her daddy. You know, and it sounds sick. I mean, when you think about it, but at the same time, it's a lack of nurturing from that time frame, you know, that was actually missing. So you want the man to come in, and you want him to be, Jesus Christ, beloved. You want him.
I dropped the spoon. I didn't just want to keep it. It's going to irritate me. Sorry. Go ahead. Please. You're flowing. Don't let me stop. Go ahead. Don't let me stop you flowing.
Your mind wants to feel protected.
Right.
Okay. Guided. Because that's what you lack. That's the area of your psyche that has not fully developed yet.
Right.
So you're still developing it. Now, later on in life, what ends up happening is, you know, the women that may have reached out and have done that, once they start to come into themselves, might not see that same relationship dynamic the same anymore. They might end up maturing and then, you know, looking at it for what it is, control and this, that, and the third, and then they go on and start dealing with people their age or whatever. But they're not going to do that just yet until they're able to identify or find themselves as women and identify why they have that need for that they have to have an alpha male. You know, some of you men say, like the good guys finish last. Unfortunately, that's the truth.
We do. We always finish last. The good guys finish last and are friend zoned. That should be a meme. The good guys finish last and we're friend zoned.
Yeah.
Do you not know? I mean, I've been friend zoned many times in my high school and college years, and I've had to listen to all the stories of how, you know, my female friends and counterparts would be treated like crap, and they would go through this relationship and that relationship, and, you know, now they break up and they're looking for somebody. I'm like,
today,
nigga, Hi, how's it going? Oh, you're my brother.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. All right, so listen. If I'm your good friend, help me book your girl so I can bang her instead of you.
Uh-oh. And then?
That should have been the mentality. That's what I was thinking I should have said.
See, you
but
a
again,
nice guy.
because I was a nice guy,
anything.
so I wasn't trying to be.
Oh my God, you lost out on plenty of opportunities.
I know I lost out on plenty of opportunities.
And it's sad because if we'd have known each other back then, I'd have friend zoned you too.
Of course you would have, and I'd have been very upset. But we still would have been friends to this very day. Like hot chocolate, that's what she used to call me back then. Hot chocolate, yeah, everything all right? I need somebody to talk to. Why? Why? You broke up with old boy, now you want to talk to me? Yeah,
yes.
but you're the only one that I got. All right, I'll be over. Even though it's 3 a.m. in the morning, yes, I'll be there. Jesus Christ.
That's a good quality.
It is a good quality, but it's unfortunately, it is a quote-unquote beta male.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Trait or category. Because the dominant male will say, well, fuck your feelings. When are you coming over? What are you doing for me?
Right.
How are you going to serve me? I want this. That needs to be done for me. You're not always going to find that particular quality in an alpha male, which kind of allows me to segue into this article here. And this comes from a website that says tobeanalpha.com. Now, it from what I'm looking at, it is highly opinionated. It will. I'm pretty sure it's not going to come from a psychologist.
Right.
But some of this information is still pertinent.
Relevant.
Okay. So the website is tobeanalphamale / alpha-male - characteristics. All right. Here it is. You can become an alpha male. But first, you need to know what an alpha male is. Oh, snap. What are the alpha male characteristics? Confident. Alpha males know where they crap. I'm trying to censor it because it says something else.
Yeah, okay? I'm reading it.
Whether or not someone else does, whether they or not to someone else. Why am I reading this incorrectly? All right, here we go. A little bit of dyslexia coming in.
No, it actually says that, which means that it's written crazy.
Okay, there we go.
Looking at it, it says whether they are or not to someone else.
Whether they are or not to someone else. Okay, alpha males believe in themselves and aren't afraid to show it physically, vocally, or through actions and thoughts. Okay, all right, now that is terrible because you can't show someone through thoughts. That makes absolutely no sense. Anyways, you guys still get the picture of what we were saying. Thank God I had several articles pulled up. But anyways, let's just move on from this unfortunate website. All right. Have intangibles, mentally tough. When I say intangibles, I'm talking about the right mentality. Alphas always think they are a winner. Sure, they might fail once in a while, but they get over it really fast and just move on. They know that they will eventually succeed if they keep trying. Alpha males do not give up just because they failed once.
When I say mentally tough, does that have anything to do with emotions?
Probably. I would assume.
So they're saying that the alpha men don't deal with emotions.
They deal with emotions, but not the ones that are sensitive. They're ones that are passionate, and you have ambition, desire. You have confidence and trust in yourself.
Anger.
Not necessarily. Yeah, anger too. That too. Anger, being very aggressive. Probably very little room for compassion. Because again, if the goal is for the alpha male to achieve his goal, then other feelings aren't going to matter, according to what was stated here in this magnificent website. Of course, that was a cynical comment. All right. Alpha males have presence. Interesting. But not in the sense that you just get lucky if you're born fat or tall. You can still look like a beta male if you don't have presence.
And by beta male, we say sissy.
How they do it in Idiocracy. Presence is what people turn and look at when an alpha male walks in the door. It's the larger-than-life figure that stands before you. Alphas make themselves bigger and give themselves presence. It comes from body language, vocals, and how they carry themselves. I'll leave the comment.
Wait, you know what? I would say that that's accurate. Mm-hmm. But there are a lot of men that I know that walk like that and look like that and just as funny looking as they want to be, and everybody notices it, but they don't think that, you know, I mean, in their mind, they're putting off this presence, and in everybody else's mind that's observing it, they find it hilarious.
They're full of crap. They know they're full of crap.
Are they in their own world when they're doing this?
Yeah, it almost kind of, it makes this, this description from this website makes the alpha male sound delusional.
Okay.
That's just observation. All right. Have strong body language. How they stand, how they talk, what they look at, where their hands are. Don't know what to do with my hands. You know? Alpha males have body language. If you didn't know, you know now. All right. They walk like the stuff. Okay. Alpha males. New Kids on the Block. The right stuff. Alpha males have swagger. They have pep in their step. They don't walk like an average man. They walk with meaning.
Like an Egyptian.
They walk like they are in control and know where they are going. Alpha males walk slow with strong steps. Unlike a beta male, here we go again.
Oh, this would be interesting.
Unlike a beta male who walks fast or uses a walk to get from point A to point B, an alpha male knows his walk can make him stand out.
What?
Okay, I wonder who wrote.
So depending on the speed,
how fast you walk, you might be a beta male if you have to walk quickly to the bathroom.
Yeah. It is just better for you to take your time and piss your pants. I'm telling you that. Because you don't want people to know that you're a beta.
That you're a beta. That's right. You're an alpha male. You piss wherever you walk and leave a stream behind you.
That's it.
Oh, this is terrible.
Jesus.
All right. Position themselves. Alpha males have an understanding. I'm reading that wrong. Alpha males understand something that many other people do not, which is that the alpha is always in a powerful position. What does this mean? All right, it means an alpha male knows where to stand and be seated in a powerful position. How to stand and be seated in a okay, all right.
They know where to stand. Are they talking about with business?
I assume that's what it sounds like. All right. Ever wonder why the head of the table sits at the head of the table, or a leader sits in the middle of a table? Alpha males do. They also know where to stand in a group setting to be in control. Alpha males not only know where to sit and stand, but they understand that to be taken seriously and be in a dominant position, they need to be closest to the resources that other people want. Okay. All right. Dominant. Alpha males take control. They are dominant. Okay, that's kind of redundant to the title. All right. They tell people what to do. They are direct. They talk, they take over situations when necessary. Alpha males are always seen as powerful. Why am I mixing up these words?
I don't know.
They're always seen. Yeah, thank you. Special K. All right. They're king of the mountain. They take chances. Alpha males are risk takers. They don't stay within their comfort zone. This is why they're seen as elite. Okay.
All right.
Okay, I'll give him touche. You might, Rabbit. You might. All right. And one of the last parts we're gonna
vocal and loud.
Yeah, it says while beta males are ogling and gaga-ing over girls and making excuses about why they aren't going to talk to her, an alpha male steps up and gets the girl. Alphas are not afraid to express their sexuality. Yeah.
They're obviously not afraid of rejection as well.
They understand their role as a man. They get the girl, and if they don't get the girl, they'll try again. Vocal and loud. Alpha males have solid voices. It can be deep. It cannot be. But it is usually deep. Which is... all right. Anyways, all that matters is that when they talk, they are heard. Alpha males not only talk loud enough for everyone to hear them, but they talk because they know what they are talking about. If an alpha male has something to say, he will say it. That sounds like bullshit. But
I know that's BS because some people talk loud and have no idea what they're talking about. But it's a way to get people to believe that you do.
Which is a good point.
Okay? I mean, I found myself in settings where I had no idea what I was talking about. But like I tell Beloved, if you say it with enough confidence, somebody will buy it.
Somebody will buy it. Somebody will buy it. You know, so. Somebody will buy it. Okay. Now.
Alpha female.
Alpha female. Let's see what this says. Okay. Hopefully I'm not boring you guys. Again, please feel free to chime in. The chat is open on TKNN Live. And on 99 The Beat as well. So, once again, let me see if anyone has said anything. And absolutely no one.
There's nothing to talk about.
Oh, yeah, maybe just...
When we get done with this, we'll go back to my grandma.
Yeah, we'll probably do that. You know, maybe what I'm saying is just mine is just fairly boring and has...
This is good stuff.
9 characteristics to help you spot an alpha female. Ooh, this comes from scienceofpeople.com/alpha/female.
Okay.
Alpha females are social conductors. Non-alpha females are her orchestra. Ooh, that's interesting. Next time you're at a party or networking event, try this fascinating event.
Experiment. Beloved.
Find a group of 3 or more females. You do not need to be close enough to hear them. They should just be in your line of sight. Put a 5-minute timer on your phone or watch and take note of the direction of the women's feet. This is interesting. Almost always, women point their toes towards the person they are most interested in or who they feel is leading the group's tempo. Interesting. So, gentlemen, you want yourself an alpha female that can take control, go to a group, watch their feet. Hopefully they have good feet or good shoes and see who's an alpha female. That's number 1. There you go. You gotta love these articles. All right. All females follow alpha's social cues. Okay? Once you have an inkling of who the alpha female is in the group, move closer. You will notice that the entire group is taking social cues from the alpha. So in other words, they lead the conversation, they lead the tone and the energy of the conversation itself.
So if the female says, you know what, this place is tired, I'm ready to go, everybody's ready.
Everybody's rolling out.
Yep.
Okay. All right. When the alpha female leaves, a social vacuum is created. Another good point. Let's see here. Apparently this is the opinion of an experiment. So for brevity of time, I'm just going to read the points. There are different degrees of female alphaness.
I have no idea what that means.
All right. Female alphahood is not like pregnancy. You are or you aren't. It's more of a spectrum. Interesting. Some women have a high tendency to be alpha. They enjoy social conducting, being the leader or the center of attention. Some women only like being alphas in their home, but not in the business environment. Some women are only social alphas around certain groups of friends. If you explain the female alpha phenomenon to a woman, she will most likely be able to tell you her degree of social alphaness. All right. There can be only one female per alpha cluster. Well, okay, we know this already. Right? And that's it. It's basically the same thing, only switched. They control their environment. They control their situation. They know what they want.
They're often bullies in high school.
Yeah, that is
the
true.
Mean girls. That's how you can, there was in every high school you go, there's always this popular clique that's following after this one chick, and in 8th grade, we had one of those in there, and she had blue contact lenses, and her name was Kim, and she had the long hair hat, and the blue contacts, and then, and she dressed real nice because her family had money, and of course, all of the young men just sniffed after Kim, and they had the peacock feathers out in the back, and she had this group with her, Nikki, and it was 2 other ones, you know, and they stuck together and they teased everybody that didn't look like them. Mm-hmm. I mean, they sat at the table, they made fun of guys were thinking that they were unapproachable, and I remember one day they made fun of one of the girls in my clique, which was the nerd slash, you know, we was just there. And everybody in my clique was either socially awkward in one way or the other. Either they had glasses or braces, or was too skinny or too fat. None of them. We had one that didn't have eyebrows.
Oh no!
So the guys would put French fries on their foreheads and walk around and tease her. Well, anyway, Kim and her group of mean girls, the alpha female. Stop laughing. She did not have eyebrows. I don't know what was wrong with her. But, you know, Kim and her group of mean girls, alpha females, had decided, you know, that they were going to tease the other young girl, Nikki, because of her glasses. And, of course, they would call them Coke bottles and stuff like that. We had hyped Nikki up. Nikki had said, you know, she's tired of Kim. Okay? She was going to finally stand her ground after school one day. And we all hyped her up to do this because Nikki was tall, and you know when somebody's like really, really fed up, you just think they're going to come with the wrath of Thor and handle their business. So we were in the back like, okay, Nikki, yeah, we got you. You want to go out there and beat her up, and you know, and she was just swole like all day. Yeah, she's going to go out there and she's going to handle that little pretty bitch, you know, and she's going to drag her and do this and that. And when the bell rang, we all ran out there, you know, and we had her back, and we had our little crew, and Kim and her pretty girl crew came, and it was only 4 of them, and it was like 7 of us. And we ended up going like in the driveway out in West Philly, where the back part where people, you know, parents and cops couldn't see us. And Nikki was like, hold my glasses, you know, and she took off her book bag. You know, and Kim was just standing there with her arm. First, she had her hands on her hips, and she crossed her arms and was like, well, go ahead and hit me. You know, do what you're going to do. And Nikki was like, I'm tired of you. And she went after Kim, and Kim beat the brakes off of her. I mean, it was the worst thing I ever seen. I was like, dang, I didn't know that pretty girl could fight like that. I mean, she grabbed that. Our friend was literally getting drugged. I mean, she was banging her head on every car that was out there. Friend. And, you know, and then her friends was looking at us like, y'all want some? And remember from Friday, you want some too, old man? No. And we
get up, man. Giving this man a hard time, is making him a bad day.
I didn't see a butt whooping from 8th grade that bad. So for the rest of the school year, we pretty much let Kim talk about us. I wasn't going to go there to do anything.
You didn't want to test the water on that one.
No. But, you know, I said that whole story is, you know, it was a little funny anecdote. But from what he was describing, that's what it reminded me of in high school and school. The pretty girl cliques that always follow the one girl that, you know, all the guys want, you know, and has the fashion and has the money, and they pretty much do anything she says.
Yep, pretty much the leader, the alpha. Here's an interesting breakdown.
Okay.
And now this might actually be not factual, but even more pertinent to the opinionated websites that I've read from. All right. Here are the breakdowns of not all the Greek letters, but a synopsis of the majority of these Greek letters in regards to the, the hierarchy, so to speak? Am I using that right? Hierarchy? Okay, all right. All right, so now, alphas. Leaders, that's it, point blank. All right, betas, sidekicks or enforcers of alpha leadership.
Okay.
News, N-U. The exact middle letter of the Greek alphabet. News are fillers. They provide conversation, gossip, and support for the alpha. Zetas, the jokester, comic relief, clown, goofball of the group. Most groups have a female jester. That's also, you know, actually, I think that can apply to the males as well. And then the omegas, the last letter of the Greek alphabet, the victims, the bullied, the weaklings, or the C in a female troika, whatever that's supposed to be, are always picked on or treated with loving condescension.
So that's the person that everybody targets, but they're laughing and joking, and in the group,
they're. It sounds like they're beneath the comic relief.
Right, but I'm saying like in a social group, you know how you have about a bunch of people, and they're all getting along, but then typically a group of people will target one individual and laugh. Look at your sneakers, this, and they'll just keep round robbing that person.
And
that's what it sounds like that is.
Yeah. It sounds like the person that takes it.
Yeah.
And then the senpai. It says it's an obsolete letter of the Greek alphabet or often forgotten. It says the invisibles, the forgotten girls whose quiet or shy demeanor often means they are not included or counted. And I think that's also the same for the men as well. It's interesting looking at this classification because, again, this applies to animals. This is not necessarily people. And here's where I have a problem with it, because it is a group of people or psychologists or an individual that says we belong in categories as animals. That's a problem, because I can tell you for one thing, I've been all of these.
At one point in your life.
At one point in my life, I've been all of these, and I can be all of these depending on the situation.
That's right.
And that situation is not constant. That situation changes, because having a higher level of consciousness, a high level of how to process things, sometimes you have to apply the 48 laws of power. And that is where you have to sometimes look stupid or weak so that you know how to infiltrate something, or how to get your foot in the door to a job, or how to even find a relationship that works and that's meaningful, because you might have a trust issue with certain people, so you don't open yourself up quite right away. So in doing so, when somebody gains your trust, now you can show, okay, hey, this is who I am. This is where I'm dominant. This is what I'm good at. Whereas you take a step back when you're still trying to gauge people. So the things that you and I often do, that they don't fit into one category. It fits into all of them.
That's right.
Because again, it goes back to who we are. We're the disagreeables. So being disagreeable, we have to gauge everything.
On every level.
On every level. And we have to be able to empathize with every level. So we have to meet you where you're at in order to help you. Make sense?
Yes, it makes perfect sense.
Okay. So.
I'm in agreement with you, because at one point I was all of those things too. And Beloved found old pictures of me where my face hadn't grown into my teeth yet.
Oh, that was
okay. So
that was hilarious.
That was I've always had an overbite. I've always had the little chickmunk teeth. That I just But when I was younger and I was like really, really skinny, that's what you saw. For a while I wouldn't even smile because they all look like ugh.
And then she had the UFO apple pie type of hairstyle. That's what I call it, is the apple pie. Kind of looked like you had the pie,
the mushroom, the layered mushroom,
the little saucer, right? Yeah, you would thought it was hilarious.
Well, that's what happened.
But that was a trend though.
Yeah, but I did it myself.
The MC Light type of trend.
I didn't get it professionally done because they wouldn't let me cut. They wouldn't let me perm my hair. Remember, they didn't want me. My parents never wanted me to cut my hair. They never wanted me to perm my hair. I wish I'd have listened back then. But back then, Salt and Pepper and MC Light was like,
That's true. Well, don't feel bad, because even after a certain time, I didn't get a shape up. I got a haircut, but I had that widow's peak right there. I was terrible. Looked fine, and then I didn't brush my hair all the time too. And being the fact that this 9 ether hair tends to attract lint, sometimes you have a little lint ball right there by mistake. You forgot to examine yourself in the mirror, so you just be walking around thinking you okay. You just a little nerdy kid, trying to go to school. And you got this lint ball right here. Then as soon as somebody sees you,
oh Lord,
they joning on you.
Yeah,
and that's it. But and then, we all have those awkward stages, but.
They're not allowed to joan anymore. It's called bullying.
Yeah. You can't bully anymore. Not bully anymore. You can't joan on people anymore because people are sensitive. But then this goes back to the categories of what we're looking at. You can't joan on the senpai or the omega or the zeta. You can't make fun of them anymore, or you can't help them to blossom or come out of their shell, because believe it or not, making fun of me actually helped me to come out of my shell, because I'm in a social environment and I have to learn how to relate to people around me.
Right.
So I need to learn how to speak and project and make myself heard. You can't do that if you continue to classify yourself as an omega and you just sit there and take it. This is what I believe mainstream society is trying to do. Categorize people, saying this is where you belong, this is who you are, and that's how you're going to be for the rest of your life.
The world has been constructed like that since forever.
Right.
Nothing but categories, classes, races. I mean, that's just how they've done it. It takes a very kind of strong mind to break free of some of those ideologies.
Agreed.
And a lot of people don't want to step outside of that because it's comfortable. Where you know where you fit. I fit in here. Oh, these are my characteristics, so this is who I am. So you've attached your identity to a classification. And
that's the problem. Why? See, somebody says you're beta male. Like, okay, all right. And then you acquiesce to that, not knowing that you could transcend that, or you can descend into another label so that you can learn how to flow between, issues and lessons in life. But you are content with where you are, so you take that on for the rest of your life. That's no way to live.
No.
You're a beta male. Somebody's beautiful. You think they're out of your league because somebody said you're a beta male, so you never
or you
try.
couldn't handle them, or just the mentality that they're outside of your league. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, okay, all right. I'm gonna play devil's advocate on this one.
Okay, go ahead.
Because we kind of know that some things aren't in your league.
Very true.
You kind of know that. You know what I mean? It's not without a classification. Mm-hmm. It's based on your own standards.
Right.
Your own standards. So you're kind of like, okay, if this is the type of standards that I've set up for myself, and this is the boundaries that I have set up for myself, and I have not allowed anybody to infiltrate or break those boundaries, then you kind of know when somebody's not fitting that, and you're like, you're cute, but I think you need to deal with somebody else on your level.
And that's fine. That's fine. What the issue is you're taking away that choice. You're taking away that potential to say, what the hell? She might be out of my league, but you know what? Let me try.
Yeah.
You know what? What the hell? He might be out of my league, but I'ma try. It's taking away the individuality and the choice of that individual to do what they desire to do.
Yeah. I agree with that. I agree with that, 100%.
I thought people were out of my league. Mm-hmm. I gave it a try. Was I rejected? Absolutely. But I tried. I tried. I was highly ambitious. I was a highly ambitious 16-year-old trying to talk to college seniors, and they patted me on the head like I was just,
you were cute. It's adorable.
But I tried. I tried.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Sure, I was a college freshman and a college sophomore, and I was trying to talk to the highly educated working woman who already had a salary, great credit score, house, car. Of course they turned me down because I was 19, 20 years old, but I tried.
That's right.
I tried. I failed, but I tried.
But that's all you can say. And see,
but
it's exactly. That failure. It is that failure. Mm-hmm.
It builds character.
It builds character and blossoms you. And not only that, because you kind of get over your fear of rejection. And loss.
That's what these categories are trying to do. They're trying to take away the privilege of rejection. And it is. I know it sounds weird.
It is a privilege.
It is a privilege to be rejected, because if you're not rejected, you would not know where you need to improve.
That's right.
Or where you could do better.
That's right.
Or where you could take a leap or a risk.
That's right.
Because you never know what might happen.
Never know.
I'm just a average Joe, and I got you.
I'm a huge risk taker. Oh,
exactly.
We got each other.
I got you. I was looking at you, looking at all the beautiful pictures. I was like, how did that happen? I don't know what I said, what I did. I just said, you know what? I like her. And I'm going to do my best to keep her attention. If I fail, I fail. If he dies, he dies.
If he cries, he cries.
Where did that come from? Oh God,
that was Tommy.
Oh, okay,
I'm so serious.
If he cries, he cries.
All right, okay. So what conclusion, did we come up with this alpha crap? To just live your life,
precisely,
and to be who you are. To not. That's a shame you cried at.
Wasn't that in sweat, and now my face looks all greasy with the lights.
But to be comfortable in who you are.
Agreed.
To not be afraid of getting rejected. It's a part of life. Mm-hmm. You're not going to get everything you want all the time. You're not going to be able to please everybody all the time. So. Know where you fit in the dynamic of your relationship. Don't compete in your relationship. Okay. Understand a natural flow. Yes.
I want you to clarify that a little bit, because some competition is good, but not to a point where it's unhealthy, right? Is that what you're
I don't think it's even necessary. I think instead of competing, you should be aspiring.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yep,
so if you see that your spouse is moving forward and you're feeling, I'm still stagnant, then you should take that energy and aspire to do better without having to compete against him or her.
Okay.
Right. So
it's more of an adding to and getting accustomed to that same flow and getting in that same vein,
running in the same vein. It just hit the frequency running. Mm-hmm. And then if you end up doing better than your spouse is gonna be like, he did it. Well, let me try. Let me step up.
Right.
And it's more of an aspiration,
as
opposed to sitting around and being bitter, because there's a different energy that you attract when you aspire as opposed to compete.
Right.
You can make a lot of bad decisions in competition because you're just trying to get on top. You become impatient. You can lose focus. Do you see what I'm saying? Because you're just trying to get to a point where you're better than somebody else, and it doesn't matter how you got there, type of thing, where when you're aspiring, you're literally learning from that individual.
Right.
You're admiring what they're doing to get to where they are, and then you're saying, let me take on some of those characteristics and key pointers and see how I can utilize it in myself.
Right.
And to get to where I need to be.
Good point.
So you don't need to be focusing on that. You don't need to be, you need to find an individual, period, that just kind of balances what you got going on. And then you don't have to give them a label. And if if you want to be submissive and you need to be submissive, understand there's a time to be submissive and be submissive.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean that you're weak for doing that.
Doesn't
you know what I
mean
mean?
You're beta or gamma delta.
No. Because, in your relationship, somebody's always going to know more than you. What you think you know.
There's always be constant learning there. Just like you said, there's going to be levels to this thing. There's going to be continuous growth where one's going to know more than the other. That's just a constant harmony.
And whatever field it is, and sometimes you got to eat that.
Right.
I don't like eating stuff, but
me neither. But
I've had to eat it.
I had to eat some too. We've all had to eat the humble pie often.
I think I had to eat one recent, and I can't remember what it was. But as soon as I think of it, we're gonna come back on the show and talk about it. But I know you got me good, and I can't remember if it was here or in Philly. But I had to eat one.
I think you should go into that.
I can't remember it right now, but we're not going to go into it. But
okay.
I chewed that up. Yeah,
you ate that one. All right.
So we're concluding alpha. We're concluding alpha, and we're probably going to conclude the show.
All right.
But I do want to leave y'all, with this thing.
All right.
Headed back to the urban settings. Mm-hmm. this gentrification thing is happening like through all the urban cities. You know, that they're taking over. The people with money are taking over the towns, you know, and the city areas, and they're gentrifying and moving black people out to the suburbs because they want access to all of the resource that is there that they're feeling like we're abusing.
Correct.
Now,
we are.
one of the biggest reasons why this happened, I will say this: I have lived in Philadelphia and I have lived in North Carolina equal. Okay, because I've been here for 20 years. I've been there for 20 years. You know what I mean? So I've got my fill of both cultures.
Right.
I can honestly say, hands down, and this is just from my perspective and my experience, that the South has got it a lot better because they're way smarter when it comes down to land and property ownership.
Yep.
And the
Good
reason
point.
why is because their parents down here in the South, their grandparents and stuff, they teach them how to do certain things, how to take care of their properties, how to pass inspections and stuff like that and pay property tax. Because in the South now, if you don't pay, I don't care if your house is paid for, if you do not pay your property tax, they will take your house. Well, they don't do it that fast in the urban cities. They don't do it like that in Philadelphia. And this is how a lot of people get in trouble. Typically, you know, a matriarch, a grandparent, or a grandmother, they keep all of their deeds and they keep all of their writings and important documents in some type of safe somewhere.
Right.
And they never, hardly ever even do a will. Okay? You have some that do, but it's very rare. They're not taught that that's something that's necessary. They keep that stored away. They have health problems. They don't go over with their children what they're allotting to them, what needs to be paid, how it needs to be taken care of. They don't do that. And then one day they're just gone. And then you have a bunch of siblings and children that is fighting over this property that they have no idea how to take care of because it hasn't been taught to them.
That's it.
And typically, if there is no resolution to it, then it'll go to the oldest sibling, who then just looks at this house as it's already paid for and it's a party spot. I can do what I want. So now years go by and there is no property tax being paid. And they're not coming to get it right away. They don't. It's almost strategic. Like they're sitting down watching the property value go down. They're sitting around and they're watching, you know, people not having the ability to take care of the house. They don't understand that it takes money to actually take care of a home.
Right.
To get the repairs done, to get the plumbing together. They don't understand that. All they understand is that they got a house now.
That's right.
They have nothing to do with it. So those things start to go down. Property tax doesn't get taken care of. And then by the time somebody's interested in it, you're presented with this huge bill of what you would have to pay to keep your house. And you can't pay it. So you just been gentrified.
Then they come out, buy the property tax, buy the property.
Right underneath
selling or buying the property tax, and you have to leave.
And you got to go. And they've done it with all the areas, like in a certain ghetto parts, because they know that it can be easily done because we don't educate.
And here's another way to get you, okay? Eminent domain.
Uh-oh.
Okay? Even if the community refuses to move or refuses to allow gentrification to take place, there could be some type of development that is supposed to come to the city and benefit the city or benefit the state. And they will tell you that you have X amount of dollars to accept to pack your stuff and leave, or we will demolish it in front of your face.
Yeah.
They did that with the new stadium in Atlanta. They did that with a lot of places that were trying to develop the area.
Wow.
Where you literally had no choice. Matter of fact, they did it in D.C. when they built the Washington National Stadium in Southwest, the big stadium we drove by when we got lost around.
Yeah.
They claimed eminent domain on a lot of small businesses and places that lived around there. That was gangster in what they did. You have X amount of time, or we will come in and we'll just develop without your consent or your permission.
So how do those places get by? This is just a sidebar. You know, we have seen spite houses how do they get away with doing it where they do not sell and everything is being developed around them, and then you got this one little house that's in there that's just not budging? How do they get by with that?
They know the law. They know the laws. They know the what's the word that I'm looking for? Not the laws and stipulations. They know the ordinances. There
See?
you go. They know the ordinances, laws. They know the councilmen. They know the wards that they live in. They know how to go to court and fight for what is theirs. A lot of us don't do that.
So there's your lesson for this evening. That's how I'm going to conclude the show. Make sure if you got property, if you got land, if you got, any of those things coming to you, or if you have them and you're trying to leave them or pass them down, please be sure to educate the next generation on how to take care of it, what they need to pay, and to stay on top of it, because we are really, really failing in that department, and we're just watching that,
Right.
And it's happening
And we're sure that you guys are seeing it too. You're seeing things change before your eyes. And I mean, even when we stopped off and got lost, I'm like, well, hey, beloved, there's a gas station right there. We just make this turn, gone.
Yeah.
Places around DC, gone, changed, that you were used to seeing. I mean, it's brilliant how it's being done, but it is also tragic when you know who used to be there and who used to live there. I used to live in DC, and then there was a community called Sarsam Quarter, very violent, very dangerous, but it was a community of black people.
Yeah.
Do you not know that Sarsam Quarter is completely different now?
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Completely different. My friend, who's a cop, who's now a cop around that area, said they changed that in a matter of 2 or 3 years.
Didn't take long.
Nope, not at all.
Yeah. They can't hold on. We can't hold on to our property. Yep. So, all right. That concluded. Kiss me, please.
Kiss me, please. Kiss me, please. God, that was so sad. That was really sad.
Our show for today. We are happy to be back. We missed you guys, and we got a lot more to talk about.
Yep.
Just by experience, and we've just been transitioning. Of course, I'm in and out of transitions as far as my availability time, because I've been traveling and trying to travel to Philadelphia because my mother's gotten sick.
Yep.
Okay, so because of my work schedule, the weekends is most of the time that I can do something like that. And then Beloved wants to spend time with his dad, and his dad is sick. So we were supposed to come back on air last week, but Beloved was with his father and his beautiful children.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And they're all getting tall, and they're going to be giants by the time this time next year, probably. They're going to be as tall as me or taller.
And I honestly was going to come on air by myself, but I couldn't figure out how to do this stuff. And I didn't think that y'all would care. No, I actually thought about it. I got dressed and everything, and then I stared at it, and I was like, Lyrical. I sent her a text message. It was like, you out of town. And I didn't feel comfortable with these doohickeys.
All right. So then we'll need to start delegating some of the things over to you, so you can start doing things as well. And I'm not just over here putting headphones in here, headphones in there, checking quality in there.
But you're an alpha male, so.
I'm a man. I'm a man. Don't start. I'm a rant. We'll be here another hour and a half.
All right.
There's a big difference between an alpha male and a man. I was a man. All right, kind of hurt my chest a little bit. But anyway, I didn't really mean to beat my chest that hard. All right, we love you guys. But listen, hold on really quickly. I know people are listening in, but we value your comments. We value your presence.
Yeah.
We value you guys just for listening in. We want you guys to talk to us.
Stop being
Give
boring.
us some feedback. Yeah, okay. Well, she said stop being boring. So we need you all to talk to us. Tell us how you feel. Tell us what you guys have experienced, so that we can dialogue and we can continue to grow with 99 The Beat and the No News Network and really take this somewhere that we never imagined before. And Beloved has a dream to make this into a brick and mortar, and we're gonna get to that dream, but we can't do it without you all. we all got to work together.
That's right.
Okay, so it's going to take, you guys sharing and liking. It's going to take, DJ Big Man and all the other DJs that are putting things together to continue to put their notoriety out there. It's going to take all the other listeners out there to just contribute and talk and really, form something that is cohesive that we all enjoy doing. Okay, now that the face of Blue Steel from Zoolander lets me know that I'm just ranting endlessly and I need to end it. All right, guys, love you all. Again, I am your co-host, Yair L, the Disagreeable.
Navia, the Disagreeable, and together we make Le
Disagreeables on the No News Network and 99 The Beat. Thank you all for listening in. We love you guys. We'll see you all next week.
Oh, Jesus.
All right, that was awesome.
That Le Disagreeables is just so ridiculous.
Le Disagreeables. The blatant mispronunciation. The English just blah blah. All right, guys, we love you all. Thank you for tuning in to the No News Network on YouTube.
My hair looks pretty
Again,
shiny today.
like and share. Please share this as much as possible.
What's that new product? The flat iron with the heat.
The argan oil.
Yeah, y'all should get that.
Get that
if
too.
you're natural, listen, ladies. If you are natural and you want to get your hair as straight and manageable as you can for a certain amount of time for whatever reason, I would suggest getting that flat iron that has the steam and that you can mix with the water and the argan oil. It's the steam flat iron. Honey, I like looking at it now. I mean, it's very manageable. It's very manageable. It looks shiny and healthy. And
all right, family. So tune in because Navia is going to have a nice little tutorial for all the ladies. Yeah, she's going to have one. Whether she likes it or not, she's going to be recorded some way, somehow, curling her hair with all the high quality products that she's gotten because she's good at it. Right?
Not really.
Oh, no, okay. Well, I tried. Anyways, look out for the tutorial.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye.
We love you all. Bye-bye. Peace, love, and light. And